Nate and I have decided that it's time to share a little bit more about who we are and why we decided to leave the comforts of our land life behind. We get restless when we stay in one place too long. Some might call it wanderlust. But we're curious about the world and what's around the next bend, or just over the horizon.
Between the sun and the deep blue sea, my feet in the sand, green umbrella drink in my hand.
The American dream.
2 kids, had a dog, a nice house, good job.
And we gave it all up. Why?
Why?
Well, we wanted to take our family on an adventure. We wanted to show the kids that there's a different way to live than, the stereotypical American lifestyle.
You were spending more time with the kids, but I wasn't. I was working hard, working long hours, and just wanted to spend more time with them, period. This lifestyle affords that, and I'm excited about seeing new places too, but for me it was just, while they're still kids, really spending a lot more quality time with them than I had been. Could do that any number of ways besides buying a boat and floating around the world. So why a boat?
One of the things that really drew me to this lifestyle was, hey, we get to explore new places, we get to scratch the itch of the wanderlust and the itchy feet, as I like to call it, but we get to bring our house with us. We have some sense of stability and normalcy as we do move from one country to the next.
Right, so much will be changing, but there's still somewhat of a solid base for the kids, especially.
Exactly. The other thing that was really important to me is doing it in the tropics. I am a sunshine girl, and this weather is really important to my sanity. I love the sunshine, and I love what's behind us, that crystal clear blue water, and everything that's underneath it. All the wildlife, all of the coral reefs that we're going to dive, the experiences of just being in that water and connecting with it. And
yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm not a real big beach guy. Sand
Nate hates sand.
Is not on the top of my list. I'd rather be cold than hot, but that's okay. Wanting to see new places, and a boat in particular versus other means of doing this will really afford us the opportunity to get out and see further afield places, much more off the beaten path. Really wanting to push ourselves, get on that steep part of a learning curve, and challenge ourselves. We're certainly doing that. Obviously there are concerns. There are concerns that we worked through and wrestled with. The biggest one is really a twofold. What about sharks and what about pirates?
No. Being far from friends and family, that is a tough one. Especially as our parents get older. All right, here we are, take 2.
So what else? Something that was definitely given a lot of thought is money, obviously. I am not retired. We have enough money to do this for a little while. Leaving my job and the corporate world was not something we took lightly. For a while I sort of thought about, like, gosh, what would it take for me to be retired and to do this, as long as we want to, forever, whatever that means. And that was really hard, like this open-ended nebulousness, and I think that kind of thinking would have led us to not ever doing this. or not doing it for quite some time. And we really wanted to do it with the kids, and so we made the leap, and we just have to trust what comes next.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, trust is such a big part of what we're doing right now. It seems like a lot of people that we've met who are either thinking about cruising or already cruising, in their former lives they were mechanics, engineers, or pilots.
Or have just been around boats for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we kind of sometimes get sideways glances when we say Nate doesn't know anything about the systems.
So duct tape didn't work.
Bummer. But he is such a fast learner, and he is so capable, and I absolutely trust him that if he puts his mind to something, he'll figure it out. I would not want to be out on the water with anyone else.
Except for one of those, people who know what they're doing. But,
well, right, of course.
Which actually brings me to my biggest concern, which is boat systems. And being able to not just work them, but repair them. If the engines go out, if there's an issue with the plumbing, if something critical with the sails breaks, if there's an electrical issue, that means we either don't have propulsion or don't have water, or don't have power, which means we don't have navigation, etc. So the world is getting smaller, it's getting more connected, but there are still a lot of big stretches of open water where when you get out there, you need to fend for yourself. I don't take that lightly, despite my complete lack of knowledge on most of that.
But honestly, he has really proven himself. I wasn't sure when we first bought the boat how it was going to go for him.
The perfect
Spending
boat for
a lot
people
of time tinkering.
who want to tinker on a boat, and that's not our skill set. We'll just see if we like it or not.
But he's got grease under his fingernails, he's got calluses on his hands now, and he's really stepped up to the plate and proven that he is committed to this, and he has the capacity to learn these new things. It's been awesome to see.
Figure it out one step at a time, but it is my biggest concern, but I'll keep learning.
Let's see, what else? Passages. Long passages. So we don't have much sailing experience, and we certainly don't have long passage making experience. And I don't know what that will be like. That is a mystery to me on how we'll handle it. Eily in particular gets really seasick. That's a big concern for her, being out on the water. So making sure that we find solutions to keep her happy and healthy is going to be big. And then night passages, taking shifts and taking turns at watch at night, and making sure that we both stay rested and alert. Homeschooling was the first sort of, what are you doing? Are you screwing your kids up? Then everyone sort of got used to that. We had a great community, the kids were thriving, but now we've taken that next step. And a lot of our friends and family have big concerns about what it will be like for them.
They will have plenty of interaction, plenty of social interaction. It's very different than the upbringing we had with traditional grade school, etc. We're confident it'll work out and broaden their horizons in an overall positive way.
I strongly believe that by being out here and introducing them firsthand to all of the wonders and beauties of nature in and above the water, exposing them to new cultures, new ways of living, they're going to have such a great foundation, curiosity and excitement about life, about nature, and about learning.
The last thing I'll say is, I don't know if I'll be fulfilled or for how long I'll be fulfilled. Learning a lot to learn. What's the day-to-day rhythm going to be for me? And I've invested a lot in my career, and that was a big piece of who I am, and that's now going to change out here. How will that feel? will I get antsy? It's not about finding tropical beach after tropical beach for me.
Right. More about the journey itself and
Seeing new places, but being challenged, stretching myself. You know, I think there's lots of ways for me to do that, but it's not simply, you know, clear water and white sand.
yeah, making sure that he stays fulfilled and challenged. Always keeping our eye on that, just so that the big guy stays happy, and we can all be happy. Supporting each other. So I think we touched on a lot. One question that viewers at home might be asking themselves is, what's next?
We want to get out there. That's the whole goal. That's why we're doing this. That's why we bought the boat we bought.
What does out there mean?
We'll see. TBD, one step at a time. But
Well, come on, we know more than that, right? We know that we want to cruise the Caribbean for a little bit, make it to Panama, go through the Panama Canal, see a little bit of South America, and then head over to the South Pacific.
yeah, to share that goal, for me, the challenge of crossing a huge ocean is as much of the draw as, you know, the island atolls. I'd like to get to New Zealand and then see how things are going at that point. But yeah, we want to get out there. We want to go far. We'll see.
Blue ocean cruising, here we come.